Are you sick and tired of being told that your voice doesn't matter, that your opinion doesn't matter? Have you been shamed and shunned for the things that you do say, told to get back into your box? For generations, us women have been quietened by the patriarchy and toxic masculinity, but it's time to take our power back. We should be here equally. There should be no superiority or inferiority. Men and women should be the same. This is healthy femininity and healthy masculinity, and this is what we're striving for. My name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach. I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse, and I also offer twin flame and spiritual guidance. Things have been so uneven for generations, and it's still happening. To this day, it still happens. Us women do not have the same rights as men do, and we haven't for so long. You know, it really bugs me. Like, even up until, the last few weeks, I've been told to shut up. Literally, like, without the exact words, it's like, get back in your box. I did a video on healthy masculinity, and obviously there was a lot of triggers there from the men who were still conforming to the patriarchy, and I was literally ridiculed for what I was saying. What am I to know about a modern man? Well, excuse me, we all have a balance of masculine and feminine energy. So any man or any woman can speak on masculine and feminine energy because we both have both. And I lived in a toxic masculine world. I inherited toxic masculine traits. So I know what it's like to be a toxic masculine. Now I'm in my feminine energy and I'm in a balance of both. We have to get to an even equality of both within ourselves and within this world. And telling me to get back in my box is making me want to burn the fucking box. Well, the box was burnt anyway, but I'm going to burn it again because you created another one. That's toxic masculinity. Telling a woman to shut up, that her opinion doesn't matter. Do some fucking healing. But this is the thing. For generations, we've been told you can't do this, you can't do that. You have to stay in the kitchen. A woman cooks and cleans. Oh my God, I'm so triggered. Like, really. And it's funny how I did that video and the certain things I've been watching on television that have reminded me of how toxic the world has been. I was watching lessons in chemistry. A woman who wanted to be a scientist, and she almost got her doctorate or PhD, but because... I don't even want to talk about that scene. Because one of her tutors attempted to assault her, she couldn't get her PhD. And then when she went about being a chemist, they wouldn't let her do that because she couldn't, because she was a woman. Effectively, because she was a woman. A woman can't be a chemist. And it was just, oh my God, you can be a lab assistant and making coffee for everyone. Oh my God. Sorry, I was just really triggered by this. And, like she went about getting a job in a television, this television place, and she was doing this cookery show. Obviously stereotypical again. They needed a mother, they needed a woman, she needed to be sexy, she needed to be this. The producer was fucking male, wanted her to be a certain way, not to use her voice or her opinion. And, afterwards, this is what really got me. The producer was male, there was 4 guys at the table and 2 women speaking about the new show. Obviously, the women loved it. The men were like, no, she wasn't sexy enough. She wasn't this, she wasn't that, she wasn't this. And the women tried to speak up on their opinion because the women are the ones that were going to be watching it. And every time they tried to speak, the men spoke over her. What the fuck, like? This is what we've had to live with for generations. This is toxic masculinity. And we're both, like another thing that was mentioned, is just... it's just in the comments that I was getting, it's like, only women want toxic men. Women are unhealed as well. So yes, there's toxic femininity as well, in a sense. But the fact, the only reason women say they don't want a healthy masculine or healthy masculinity is because all we've ever known is toxic masculinity. When you grow up in a world watching your own parent, your own dad, do toxic masculine things, then you actually attract that into your life because you know no different. So it works both ways. Men and women both need to heal. This is the importance here. I don't want to go too left. I'm not trying to attack the males here because, in fairness, I love the balance of both. But when there's inequality, I get really, really upset and I get really triggered. And, you can't go attacking a woman then for saying, she wants only toxic masculines. She doesn't know any different. You grow up watching your fucking father be violent. You attract that into your life because it's familiar. This is why this whole world is this is what we've learned. And it is getting better, thankfully, because men are doing their healing, and they are, well, some of them are, because obviously there's some comments on my post that actually, especially one in particular, he was doing his healing. He respected what I had to say. Do you know what I mean? Whereas the others were like, no, you're wrong. Do your healing. I'm sorry. But it's another thing as well, and this really bugs me. Men think it's masculine to be this macho mentality. They've learned that you're not supposed to be emotional. They've learned that they have to hide their feelings. They've learned that it's stronger and masculine if you don't speak your truth. You know, and you conform to the bullshit of this, I build fire, I'm caveman bullshit. This is really upsetting. And you know what's really upsetting? Is that true masculinity, true strength and courage comes from authenticity, comes from using your own voice, and comes from not conforming to other people. Now, this was another thing that really got me. This is how gang abuse is formed. Because the toxic masculine ringleader abuses a person, I don't want to say the exact words, abuses a woman, and the group is like, oh, I'm only going to be a man or look like as a man if I conform. So when is it my turn to abuse this woman? Whereas in actual true fact, a real man would actually stand up and say this isn't right. That's true masculinity. That learned behaviour of treating women like shit is bullshit. Because I was watching another movie, and there was this woman, and she was lying naked in the cold, and she was obviously off, she was high. And a group of men stood around her, literally going, when is it my turn? And I'm like, if one man had stood up and actually wrapped a jacket around her and said, listen, love, I'm taking you home, that's true masculinity. Whereas in actual fact, they were like, oh no, if I did that, I'd be looked at as weak. Yeah, you looked at weak by other toxic masculine men. It's ridiculous. And this is still happening. It's like, I'm going to stay in this macho mentality, this rugged mentality, so that the boys will like me. Are the boys going to fucking marry you and spend the rest of your life with you? No. Are they going to father your children? No. So why are you so caring about the opinions of unevolved men over the opinion of a woman that you may potentially be with, or that spend the rest of your life with? And that's the thing, like, you know what I mean? Why are you getting advice from somebody who doesn't have that healing or evolution anyway, who's still conforming to that patriarchy? It's actual bullshit. And this whole opinion of a woman should do this, a woman should be in the kitchen, a woman can succeed. And like, this is another thing that I've mentioned in videos before. Back in the day when women tried to succeed, the only way they could was if they gave the favors to the boss or the higher up. Women were treated like objects, pieces of meat, like fuck pigs, and that's it, and it just really upsets me. And even, sorry, I don't know how this is probably going to be a really controversial video, but I get so triggered when I'm speaking about this. Even men used to abuse their own wives because they had this ownership mentality. You do exactly what I fucking say because I own you. You cook, you clean. And that's another thing. You got married back in the day and they used to be like, a woman can't work anymore because now you're a slave to your husband. And this brings me to witches. Women who were independent and didn't conform to be a slave to the fucking man were deemed as witches and then burnt at the stake. This is the kind of energy that has been passed on generation after generation after generation. And this is why it's so important to break that cycle now. Ask yourself this question if you're a man. Do you want your children to suffer the way you did and act the way you did? To become the way you did? Like, in fairness, or even if you have a daughter, would you like your daughter to be treated the way that effectively you or your father treated women? Do you know what I mean? This is it, like, you know, and you might say to yourself, I'm not a toxic, you know, I'm not treating women badly. But by not expressing yourself to a woman, by ghosting a woman, by disrespecting her feelings, this is all a form of toxic masculinity. By not opening up and being authentic, by not being in your own feminine energy, by not being in your healthy masculinity, that's toxicity. You know, as I said, it goes both ways. A woman can be toxic towards men as well. Like, obviously, and it's, you know why? It's because of what we've known. You know, and one thing I'm so grateful for is, even though I have most of my, you know, I've been at the hands of toxic masculinity, and I've experienced it through my own toxic masculinity, I don't hate men. I don't believe that all men are the same. I just think it goes, as I said, it goes both ways. Some women need to do their healing, some men need to do their healing. It's so important for both of us to get there. And that's what it's about. You know, as I said in my comments, like, women aren't choosing toxic masculine men on purpose. It's just all we've ever known and learned. And, you know, I used to do the same. I used to attract the wrong kind of men. And because I've done my healing, I find healthy masculinity so attractive. And that was a big question in my comments as well. Like, am I actually attracted to a man who cries? Am I actually attracted? Like, if, you know, a guy said, you know, if it actually happened, you know, would you be attracted to it? And yes, I have been. I've seen men cry before, and I've respected them for it. But it happened, you know, lately for me. And I have to say it was probably one of the most beautiful experiences I ever had. You know, my twin flame opened up and he got vulnerable. And it was a beautiful experience. And my feelings grew for him in that moment. And, you know, I barely knew him in the physical at that time. But I respected him more in that moment. That honesty, that vulnerability, that rawness. And yes, it was fucking attractive. And, you know, I took it better than he did, because ever since then he freaked out, because it was something so alien to him. Because oftentimes men grow up in a household where they're told, you know, they're not getting that affection and love from their father. And they think the more masculine they are, the more their father is going to respect them, the more their father is going to be proud of them. And boys especially, they're told, don't cry because this is weakness. And I'm watching Reacher at the moment, a TV series. And, like, you know, at the start of it, like, there's flashbacks from when he was a kid with his brother. And they're really, really big macho men. They came from a military family. And obviously, like, it was his brother was like, don't cry. Do not cry. Don't cry. It'll look weak. And it's just like, oh my God, will you fuck off? We're allowed to cry. Crying is healthy. Crying is beautiful. And this is the thing. And that was the more in my comments, is like, you know, women don't want this. Women don't want men to be emotional. Yes, we do. A man can be both masculine, strong, protective, providing, not that we need protection or providing for, and still be vulnerable. Like, you don't have to be a soppy little, I don't like even saying the word soppy, but you don't have to be seen as weak just because you shed a tear. I think it's so masculine, to be honest, to see a man shed a tear and not be afraid to shed a tear. This is strength. This is courage. This is bravery. And this is beautiful. And, you know, I like, if you're strong enough in your own sexuality, your own energy, your own masculinity, you're going to cry and not give a shit about crying. You're not going to care what other people think. You're going to be in your true self, in your truth. And this is it. Like, if you're hiding who you are, who you truly are, to be accepted by a group of unevolved men, there's something wrong there. Like, you know, there's something really wrong there. Gaining the respect of unevolved humans is not the way to go. We're all here to evolve. We're all here to change. We're all here to transform. And we're all here to shed those generational curses of toxicity. Us women are here to use our voices and take our power back. And I'm not saying that we want control. I'm saying that we all be equal. That men, women be completely equal. Within, this thing in relationships as well. The man is the breadwinner and, the woman cooks and cleans. No. We can share the fucking housework and we can share the finances. I don't need somebody to build me a fucking fire. I can build it myself. Let's all build a fire together. Do you know what I mean? This is what, and this is another thing with men. It's like, my love language is money providing, and they're working themselves like dogs, and the woman actually only wants him to be present. You know what I mean? And same for the children. The children want their father to be present, not to be rich. And you can have the best of both worlds. You just need to bring in that equality within yourself, that balance of masculine and feminine energy. So it's about healing your shit. Whether you're a male or female or any gender, it's about healing your shit. You know what I mean? So that we can all actually accept each other in our healthy energy rather than still attract that toxic energy because it's all we've ever known. We're here to be pure and authentic and real and not conform to the falsehood of the past. We're here to break that cycle. How do you want your children to be? How do you want your male children to be? Or how do you want your female children, or any gender, but how do you want, when it comes to masculine and feminine energy, how do you want your daughters to be treated? How do you want what kind of men do you want your daughters to attract? Do you know, if you're in this toxic energy, your daughters are going to attract toxic masculines because they just know no different. And I've done that. We all want a bad boy. No, we fucking don't. We just think that's what love is. To be treated like fucking shit. And it's only when we fucking heal that we're like, oh. And then that's another thing with women. It's like, oh, he's so nice, I have the ick. It's because you don't know what nice is. And you don't think you deserve nice. That's why we were attracted to toxic masculines. It's because we didn't think we deserved anything else. So I needed to do another video because, don't tell me to go back in my box. This is the thing from the Barbie movie as well. Oh, there was such messages about patriarchy in the Barbie movie. It's like, we need to get this Barbie back in her box. Fuck off. And all the fucking people working in fucking Barbie were men. Oh, no. No. You know what I mean? Oh, Jesus Christ, I will not go back in my box. The box is fucking burned. Anyway, it's time for us to use our voices, women. And it's time for both males and females and any genders, do your healing. Let's all be healthy in our masculine and feminine energy because we all have a balance of both and we all have a right to speak about it. So that's enough for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I do hope this resonates. If it does, please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. And if you'd like help on your journey, please book me for a free discovery call today, and I would love nothing more than to help you on your path.